Yeah.
You just killed us real quick.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Coach, I guess I'll just start it out with it's playoffs now. Just how are you feeling heading into this series against Boston?
Yeah, we're, guys are really excited to play. I think there's an enthusiasm that the playoffs generate, and particularly with the play-in games, which we were a part of. So I think that has a way of it's just crescendo. So yeah, I wouldn't say happy to be here, but we are happy to be here. We're happy to be in the playoffs, and I don't think that's inconsistent with competing either.
I know you talk a lot about efficiency as well, and just with a team like Boston that is so efficient shooting threes, how much more efficient does that make you guys have to be, one, on the defensive side, and also, two, just, in finishing your shots and finding good looks?
Yeah, I mean, they're a really, one of the best examples of your offense helping your defense. You mentioned the catch and shoot threes. I mentioned threes in general. I think in particular the catch and shoot threes. You're not going to take those away. You got 25 plus during the year, but either they've got to be hard, or you need to take some of them away. Which if you're able to get some stops, for us, that's an opportunity to get out and transition, because in the half court, with their size and length and the way they switch. Some of those things I'm stating the obvious, but that doesn't mean it's not true and that it's not hard. So, as you said, I think we've got to take our shots. We can't be hesitant, to be aggressive, both shooting the ball and driving the ball. As if they get you playing just side to side, it becomes hard.
Quinn, on that topic of shot selection, when you're playing a team like this that shoots 45, 53 sometimes per game, kind of match that, or do you just kind of play your game? Yeah,
I think shot selection is an interesting thing. I think we could all agree that a great shooter that can get a shot off, sometimes even though it's contested, it's a good shot, But as far as match, meaning I don't know that, that we're going to shoot more threes than them. But I don't think that we necessarily need to compare ourselves to them. I think we need to play to our personnel. But part of that is, yes, we need to shoot threes. I think particularly because if we just can't turn down shots. Because if you do that, there's a high likelihood that you may not get a better shot during the rest of the possession. That gives you a greater chance for a turnover. Usually, if you're shot faking and not shooting, the ball does get stagnant, especially when someone anticipates a shot. So that, to me, our aggressiveness offensively, and if we make a few mistakes, if we miss, that can't deter us from continuing to shoot.
That you two have connected from time to time, just talking basketball. What were your impressions of him as an assistant and now? Yeah,
we this summer we were talking. He was one of the. I tried to kind of not think too much about basketball, but I really enjoyed talking to him, and just in those conversations, not only heck of a coach, but very thoughtful about the game, very smart. It was an opportunity for me to learn too. You've got people that have different experiences, and in talking to him, there was no doubt in my mind, at least, that he would do. He's just done a great job. It's been terrific, and it's always nice to have. This is. Lonely is not the right word, but it's hard to have relationships. I mean, you have them with other coaches, but when you get into competition, that's what dictates that. So I was fortunate with Joe that in summer, although it is now, but really enjoyed that dialogue I had with him.
With DeAndre, it just seems like he has not necessarily been having as much of the offensive impact that he might have liked, but just what can he do to kind of get involved a little bit early, or kind of add
Yeah.
that aspect to you guys' rotation?
Yeah, well, I think, he's been out for a period of time, and then he came back, and like last time we were here, we wanted him to have a chance to kind of, get his rhythm back, so to speak. He was shot out of cannon against Miami. I mean, he was like in a great place, and I think he's in that place. He just got in foul trouble. I think for DeAndre, he's one of the guys that we really need to be aggressive. And, the other things, if he's aggressive, will take care of themselves. And on both ends, on both ends, that's where he's unique for us. Is he's a two-way player. Not that other guys aren't, but he has that capability to defend, a tough matchup. And part of defending the tough matchup is making them defend you.
In your career, what have you learned that changes in the playoffs impact your team?
Well, I think there's always, because of the intensity and the emotion, it is different than the regular season, and just on a kind of a emotional level, and being able to channel that, sometimes that emotion can come out in ways that aren't as productive to how you're playing, but it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. The fact that there's 7 games, other than hockey, unless I'm missing something, those 7-game series require endurance and mental toughness, because you see it a lot. You see a team win, in a pseudo blowout fashion, sometimes in a blowout, and then there's another game. How do you handle that, and particularly with a younger team? So it's something that our guys. That's a learning experience on some level, but you can't go in and say, okay, we're going to learn. You've got to learn as the game's going on, between games. As you get deeper into the series.